it is, and put it on the switch off mode or silent mode. Okay.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuhunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Welcome all of you for the Sunday evening program at the Lotus Feet of Shri Radha Giridhari and Shriman Mahaprabhu and Lakshmi Narasimhadev. Whenever I came here, I always found this temple hall packed with devotees. So, devotees are very, very enthusiastic in this temple. This topic is not my chosen topic. This is given by whom? His Grace Bharata Krishna Prabhu. From his WhatsApp, I have cut and pasted as it is. What he says? First become qualified and then preach. Qualified preachers are empowered and contribute to fulfilling the vision of our beloved Guru, our leaders at GBC. So, this is the order of Prabhuji for me. So, I will fulfill his order by trying to say something about this. In this world, when Lord descends, He himself accepts a Guru as if he has to go to Gurukul and he has to learn under a guru, which the Lord doesn't have to. Because he says in Bhagavad Gita, Venaham samatetani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. Arjun, I know the past, I know the present, I know the future. There is nothing that is unknown to me. In fact, no one else knows me. I know everyone and everything, he says. But then why he goes to Gurukula? Like you all know, Krishna went to which Gurukul? Sandipani Muni's Gurukul. Similarly, when the four lords appeared, Ram, Lakshman, Bharat and Shatrughna, they were all small boys, 5-year-old boys. At that time, Dasharath felt that now it's time for them to go to Gurukul. So Vasishtha ji was called and handed over, these children were handed over to him. They all went to the hut. So inside the hut, Vasishtha ji gave them 4 asanas to sit. And after they sat, Vasishtha Muni circumambulated them 3 times and offered a Sashtanga Pranam at their feet. And then kneeling down with his folded palms, he cried out and he told, My dear lords, what is this play? You are all my master and I am your insignificant servant. And why are you coming to my Gurukul as if you are my student and I have to become your teacher? So Lord Ram and all others, they smiled and said, actually we wish to be your student and learn from you, so that all the people of all the world will know that no one can become a guru unless you yourself become a disciple first. You have no right to teach anyone unless we have been taught by someone. His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj, what he says? Each one teaches one while being taught by one. That means even when we are teaching someone, we should always have somebody above us to learn from. So we have to keep on learning. Like right now, I have spent almost 3 decades in ISKCON society. I joined in 91. In 91 I came to Krishna consciousness. 94 I joined. But I can't say that I have mastered all the books and everything, because every time I go to Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, there is something always fresh and new to learn from there. And also I'm learning from so many of my Vartaman Acharya Vrinda and many senior devotees. It's like ongoing process. When I took saffron dress, I went to different Maharajas to take blessing. So one Maharaj lives in Nellore, his name is His Holiness Shukadev Maharaj. When I bowed down to him and I got up, Maharaj, what is your instruction for me? He said, Radhe Radhe kaho, chote ban ke raho. He said, what is the meaning? Chant Radhe Radhe and always remain small. So then I told Maharaj, vaise to main chota hu. Anyway, I am short only. But he said, किसी का आकार छोटा हो सकता है लेकिन गर्व बड़ा हो सकता है. इसलिए अगर तुम हमेशा छोटे बन के रहोगे, you are humble always, then you will always flourish in your spiritual. So that was the blessing he gave. After that, I am trying my best to be as careful in dealing with devotees. Be very humble. So, why it is very important for us to take a humble and grateful role under the Guru and learn first nicely and then preach it. So, Lord Rama goes to Gurukula, Lord Krishna goes to Gurukul, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepts Ishwarapari as the Guru. So they all are teaching us that before we can become eager to speak, we should hear. In San Francisco, Prabhupada established Jagannath Baladev Subhadra deities. In that festival, hundreds of hippies came to attend the program. So Prabhupada was very happy to see so many hippies taking enthusiastic interest to take part in the festival. So, and then Prabhupada just spoke in his talk, you should never come to temple with an empty hand. He said, you should bring some flowers, you should bring some fruits. And then casually Prabhupada was saying like this, and many hippies turned around, went to market and brought some fruits. And then they gave, and the Prabhupada told them to put it in front of the Jagannath deities. And huge amount of fruits came. Somebody brought orange, somebody brought apple, different fruits they brought. So, and then Prabhupada told the pujari to offer it all. And after offering, Prabhupada gave it all back to them. And the lamb came out from the altar. So, and Prabhupada taught all of them what to do with the lamb. In India, no need to tell people about the lamb, right? When the lamb comes out, before you take it to Prabhupada, people run behind the lamb. Everybody is running like this. Huh? Everybody knows what to do with the lamb. In America, they were not aware. Prabhupada said, touch the lamb, touch your eyes, because our eyes are blind. Now we have charma chakshu. Then we can get divya chakshu. Why? Because Lord will give us the eyes to see the spiritual reality. And you touch the head, you get blessings on your whole existence. So then all of them repeated what Prabhupada said. They faithfully followed that. And then one girl asked a question to Prabhupada, Swamiji, you always say, preach, preach. How can we preach? We have not studied anything. We are not learned like you. You are an elderly man. You are deeply learned in scriptures. We don't know so many things about God. How can we preach? And Prabhupada said, therefore, Prabhupada said, Tasmat Shrotavya, he said. Shrotavya means first hear, then preach. Without hearing, if you preach, you will only bluff. Therefore, we have to first hear. And then one boy asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, how long do we have to hear? After which we will be considered qualified to preach. Should we study for 20, 30, 40 years? After that, we can preach? Prabhupada said, hear 2 sentences, repeat 2 sentences. So I have my books, Prabhupada said. I have more than 800 books. Purchase these books, read them, read 2 lines, and then preach 2 lines. So Prabhupada encouraged very much. So ours is a preaching movement. It's a Goshtyanandi movement. There are 2 movements. Bhajananandi, Goshtyanandi. Bhajananandi is sit and do japam in the dham, 2 lakh names, 3 lakh names. Like 64 rounds, 128 rounds, or 192 rounds, like Haridas Thakur, correct, no? Or Gaura Kishoredas Babaji. So they are called Bhajananandis. Haridas Thakur was not only Bhajananandi, he was preacher also. But Gaura Kishoredas Babaji was a Bhajananandi. And our Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta Thakur, they are all called Goshtyanandis. Goshtyanandi means they go out to preach. Prahlad Maharaj says in one verse, Prayena deva munayasva vimukti kaman maunam charanti vijanena pararthanishthak. And then he's saying, Naitan vihaya kripanan vimamokshaye ko nanyam tadasya sharanam brahmato nupashye. My dear Lord, I am seeing many sages going to Himalayas to follow Maunavrat. They don't want to speak. Recently, in one of the videos, they showed that some reporters are going to the Himalayas and some Babas are living in Himalayas, Mauni Baba. So one fellow was saying, आज हम पहुंच गए हिमालय में, एक मौनी बाबा हैं, उनसे बात करना चाहते हैं, थोड़ा प्रश्न पूछेंगे उनको, like that. He took the video there. As soon as he took the mic, the Mauni Baba ran away into the ice. He didn't come, he didn't speak anything. So these Mauni Babas, Prahlad Maharaj said, they want to get moksha and go back to Godhead themselves. They don't care about people living in Bangalore, SNGM area. But he said, true sadhus are those who live in the heart of the cities and they are concerned about the people. And they want to reach the message of God to the people, awaken them, give them the mantra, Maha Mantra, and inspire them to go back home, back to Godhead. How many of you know Sripad Ramanujacharya climbed up the, Srirangam temple and then called all the people and he gave the holy name? How many of you heard that? Correct? So he's a preacher. He's a Goshtyanandi. Prahlad was a preacher. Prabhupada was a very vigorous preacher also. So we should be Goshtyanandis. That's the mood of our founder Acharya. We should learn to, we should repeat. And his own Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, you all know, he stands for congregational preaching all across the globe through Bhakti Vriksha model, isn't it? And he is himself a vigorous preacher. He has started hundreds and thousands of programs all across the globe and inspired many devotees also. Nevertheless, as much as he is very eager to preach, he is equally very much emphatic about studying Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav. So much so that he himself gave Bhakti Vaibhav exam. How many of you know? You know that? He wrote the exam himself. And he told, I have completed test paper. Now everybody should do it. So he is a very vigorous preacher, but he emphasizes very much on studying the Shastra also very well. Equal emphasis he gives. Prabhupada also once joked about the devotees. Prabhupada said, you take my books and go to the market and say, please buy my books. And then the other fellow will ask, what is there in these books? You may say, sorry, I don't know what is there. Yeah. Then you may say, you only read and find out. Then how will they buy the books? So we have to read the books. So Prabhupada also said that. So that is why Lord himself goes to Gurukula, studies, and Lord also is very eager to preach. Is it not true? Like Lord Krishna is giving knowledge to Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And Rishabhadev is giving knowledge to his 100 sons. Hamsavatara is giving knowledge to Brahma and Chatushkumaras. Kapila Devahuti Putra is giving knowledge to his mother Devahuti. Yeah. And Lord Vishnu, who's called Pankajanabi, from whose navel comes the lotus. In that, when Brahma is born, Lord Vishnu becomes the Guru. He also gives knowledge, which goes to show Lord is very eager to also teach and preach. He himself is a very good teacher. Krishna also is a very wonderful teacher. He likes to teach. But as much as he likes to teach, he likes to become a student of his own devotees and stay in their ashram. And it's very joyful for the Lord to learn from his own pure devotees. So he is teaching us by his powerful example. So when we come to weekly programs and then gradually start picking up, within 3 months or 6 months, sometimes the Bhakti Vriksha expands and we may be asked to go for starting a new program. And then some people become so preoccupied in online, offline programs that they will tell their senior that I have no time to attend your class. Then the knowledge that you are supposed to take, that is cut off. Then we are only giving. So I will tell you one story about giving, without taking. One farmer was living in a village and his well was like overflooding with water. So much so you can just take a mug and take from the top and take bath. It was like that. It was pure, nice water. But all other farmers in the same village, their wells were running dry. So they all brought their buckets. They requested him, my dear farmer, your well is full. Can you give us a bucket of water? He said, why not? I have abundant water. Take as much as you want. Somebody picked up 1 bucket. Somebody picked up 2 buckets. Somebody picked up 4 buckets. He was liberal. But then one fellow brought a 80 HP pump. So, can I put a pump and take water? And seeing him, 3-4 more people brought a pump. And they put and started drawing water, and the water level gradually went down, and went way below. And so much so that the farmer had no water for himself. He was in big struggle. So I heard the story. What is the moral of the story? I will tell you. When you become a Krishna conscious devotee, you have heard from your guru and many other seniors. You are very happily situated. It's like overflowing well. And many people will invite you for preaching programs. In the beginning, you may not get many opportunities. But as you are growing 1, 2, 3 years, once people know that you are good in preaching, then he will start giving you invitations. That's like people bringing buckets to take some water from you. Oh, yeah, okay, one program here, no problem. One program there. You can give one a few. But 80 HP pump means some people will say, I will keep a Bhagavad Katha for you 7 days. Or I will keep a 3-day program for you. Correct? Like, once they invited me to Gulf, I was about to go. I said, 3 days I can come. They said, no, you should come for 15 days. Because they said, if you come for 3 days here, others will ask, why you didn't send him to our place? So you have to go on like this, all the areas. So you will get a lot of invitations. That's like your well will become gradually emptied. So the preacher suddenly finds, my Lord, I have run out of stock now. I am just giving, but I have not been replenishing. So then the preacher doesn't find time to study Prabhupada books. And the preacher doesn't find time to hear Prabhupada lectures. And one may not have much substance to give others. Over a period of time, one may run out of fuel. This can happen, and then the preacher becomes angry, frustrated with others. All devotees wonder, he was a good devotee. Why suddenly, he is not behaving well? That is because the preacher becomes irritated. And that irritation comes because of, like sparks produced due to friction. That means there is no lubrication, there is no juice of Krishna consciousness. We should be like a gulab jamun dipped in sugar syrup, like that gulab jamun. We should be juicy devotee. That means you're reading Shastra, memorizing shlokas, hearing the pastimes, and while walking, going, coming, relishing those pastimes, remembering it, contemplating it, applying it, and then also sharing with others. But if you are only going to give, and not study and take inspiration, then that's not very good. Eventually, you'll become like the dry well. So, what should that farmer do with the dry well? He should connect his well to a vast reservoir of water. There should be underground pipe. So, as soon as the well is running dry, then the reservoir should supply water, and again the well should become full. So, how do we all do that? We should take out time to hear from our seniors and our superiors. There should be time when, like my senior told me, Radheshyam, in Pune, you are like a big fish in a small pond. But when you come to Bombay, you are like a small fish in a big pond. How many of you understand this? I'll explain this to you. See, I joined in Bombay Temple in 94. At that time, Gaurang Prabhu, me, we joined at the same time. Then above us, there were 3-4 devotees. Shyamanand Prabhu, Radha Gopinath Prabhu, Govind Prabhu, Swaran Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj. They were all there. Bombay. So we used to look up to them. They were teaching us this Bhakti Shastri course books, Nectar of Instruction, and all that. So we were very, very ecstatic because the morning Bhagavatam class and afternoon Brahmachari class, we were learning many nice things. Then when I went to Pune, gradually Pune temple grew up and our community started swelling in size, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 like that. Then when I went to Bombay once to meet all my seniors, we were in a meeting of all the Brahmachari ashram devotees. There my senior told me that, see, in Pune you are like a big fish in a small pond. Why? In a small pond, big fish should be considered like a king. So in Pune, everybody will say, Radheshyam is very senior devotee, senior devotee. People will always make us feel that as if we are very pure devotees. But when you come to Bombay, I see many people like Gaurang Prabhu and other people who joined at the same time. And also seniors to me, then naturally you feel humble, isn't it? Just like Lord Brahma, once he went to Dwaraka, patted the door, and the watchman came and said, wait a minute. And then Krishna told the watchman, check out which Brahma has come. And Brahma was like taken by surprise. What is Lord asking? Is there any more Brahma than me? He asked. So then Brahma said, as soon as Brahma was allowed inside, first thing the Lord was about to ask him something. Wait a minute, Lord, first you tell me, why did you ask that question? Which Brahma you are asking? Are there any more Brahmas? In this world, there may be many, human beings may be many, elephants may be many, dogs may be many, but Brahma is only one. Because I am the first created living being, I am managing the whole universe, he said. Lord said, wait a minute. And he called all the Brahmas from all different Brahmandas. This Brahma, our Brahma has how many heads? There was another Brahma with 8 heads, another Brahma with 16 heads, another Brahma with 32 heads. They were like stack of heads. And when he saw so many Brahmas come, not only they came, they all bowed down to Krishna also. Krishna did one miracle at that time. He made our Brahma see all the Brahmas. Whereas all the Brahmas saw only themselves. They could not see anyone other than Krishna. Each Brahma thought, I am coming to meet Krishna, they were bowing down. But our Brahma saw whom? Every other Brahma. And our Brahma felt, I am like a rat amongst elephants. Can you imagine? Multiple elephants come, a small rat is running here and there. He felt, my Lord, now I understand that I am not the only Brahma. There are many other Brahmas. Similarly, when I go to Bombay, when I see my seniors, I feel I am like a rat among elephants. There are many grown-up devotees. And that is good for us or bad for us? Very good for us. Because then there are seniors, we feel humble, and that humility is very good for us to keep our head between the shoulder. Otherwise, our head will be in the clouds. Therefore, there is a saying in English, your head can be in clouds, but your legs should be in the ground. It is said. So, I used to go to Bombay for such programs and take Association of Advanced Devotees. Pune also I called many sannyasis and all we call, because we need to sit down and hear from many realized souls. And then we also draw inspiration from them. And that should be an ongoing practice. So in His Holiness in His Holiness Jayapada Goswami's Bhakti Vriksha manual, if you read, the plan that Maharaj made based on Godruma Kalpatavi is, Bhakti Vriksha leaders should take their classes, but they should gather together with their sector leader, Chakrapati, Upachakrapati and all, and they should take inspiration from their seniors also. And their seniors also should go to each Bhakti Vriksha groups to motivate the people and also to inspire the people to follow their leader. So leader inspires the younger one, and younger one goes and takes shelter of the superior one. In this way, the group will become very solid group. So, and they have a Vyuha classes, you may be knowing also, isn't it? Vyuha means multiple Bhakti Vriksha groups come together and they hear from very senior devotees like that. So, in this way, this is the standard model that, because if you are only with juniors, what will happen? Juniors will always say, Prabhu, Prabhu, you are Siddha Bhakt, you are a pure devotee, they will say. And you may also think, probably I am a pure devotee. You know, you look into the mirror and say, oh, I wear a beautiful tilak, I have a nice shikha, maybe I am a pure devotee. One may imagine, because the juniors will catch your feet and pull you down. Because for them to catch your feet is very easy. But seniors will catch your shikha and pull you up. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu caught one fellow shikha and pulled him up. Who is that? Hare Krishna. So you want to be pulled up or dragged down? Therefore, we are all speaking, but we also should hear. So now, in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is Sutta Goswami, you all know. He spoke to whom? Shaunaka Rishis. So Shaunaka Rishis told him, Sutta Goswami, your birth is little impure. It's not pure because you were born in Pratiloma marriage. How many of you know what is Pratiloma marriage? I'll explain what it is. Anuloma marriage means husband is higher caste, wife is lower caste. Anuloma. Anuloma means favorable. Pratiloma means wife is higher caste and husband is lower caste. For example, Kardama Muni is Brahman and Devahuti is Chatrani. So, wife is Kshatriya family and husband is Brahman. That is called Anuloma. Anuloma means then the husband is actually like leading the family, he is a Brahman and then wife follows him. That's very good. But Devyani married Yayati Raja. No. Devyani is Brahmani, whereas Yayati is Kshatriya. So then what happens? Being a Brahmani, she is more intelligent, more controlling, and then Yayati has to go run behind her. Madam, good morning. No. Then he will be under her. So that is the problem. So Yayati has a lot of trouble later on. So Pratiloma marriage means husband is at a lower status, not very evolved, and wife is at a higher status. So his father was who? Roma Harshana Sutta. He was Pratiloma. So his son was Sutta Goswami. So Sutta Goswami says one very important verse. When he spoke to Shaunaka Rishis, do you know how he began? Yasvanubhavam akila shruti saramekam adhyatma deepam atititirshatam tamondham kamsarinam karunayaha purana guhyam tam vyasasunum upayami gurum muninam yam prabrajantam anupetam upeta krityam dvaipayano viraghakatara ajuhava putreti tanmayataya taravo vinedus tam sarva bhuta hridayam munimanatosmi. In these two verses, he glorifies his guru, spiritual master. He is saying, my guru is fully realized, Shukadeva Goswami is fully realized soul, Jasva Anubhavam, Jasva Anubhavam, Akila Shruti Saramekam. He spoke the Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit. So, and this is like Adhyatma Deepam. It's a transcendental light which can dissipate the darkness of Kali Yuga, darkness of the people of this age. And it is especially spoken by him mercifully to the suffering souls of this age. Like that he spoke. And then he said, but when my Guru was born, he was so detached, he was going to the forest and his father Vedavyas ran behind him, Putra, 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 he was crying. So he is adoring his Guru in the heart with great reverence. And then he's saying, I am simply a dust in his lotus feet. And by his mercy, Daushkulyamadim vidunoti shigram, he says. I am born in a Dushkulam. Dushkulam means lower caste. But by being under the guidance of that Guru, he removed my disqualification. Therefore, all of you are accepting me to speak. Otherwise, I am not a very qualified person. See, we should never think ourselves to be qualified. If somebody says, like one fellow, he completed Bhakti Shastri. He brought his certificate and he showed to many congregations and said, see, hum Bhakti Shastri ban gaye hain. Isliye all of you register, 30 of you. Next week onwards, I am going to start Bhakti Shastri class. Hum jaise Shastri se aapko seekhna padega. You have to learn from my Shastri like me. Like that he spoke. Aise bola unhone. He said. All the 30 people registered for the Bhakti Shastri course, but they told the temple president, we want to learn from another preacher, but not from this fellow. Why they said like that? Why? I think they're not understanding. They're understanding? Hindi mein bolo. Why they didn't want to learn from this person? Because of ahankar, false pride. He thought simply getting a Bhakti Shastri certificate, he became a big Shastri. We should not be proud. We should always think, I am unqualified, but all other devotees are better than me. I am a very small devotee. That's how, ideally speaking, great devotees consider themselves small, others to be greater. And small devotees think themselves to be very great and others to be small. They think, I am the only devotee, nobody else is devotee. They feel like that. But great devotees think, everybody is a devotee, I am not a devotee. They think like that. So Sutta Goswami is thinking like that. He says, I am actually not a great devotee, but my Guru purified me. Therefore, so when we are preaching, what we should think, all this knowledge doesn't belong to me. This knowledge belongs to Guru and Guru Parampara. I am just borrowing from Prabhupada's books and I am giving here like a postman. Like a postman takes your parcel and gives it to you, correct, no? Like that we are receiving knowledge in Parampara and giving. So is the credit to be given to us or to the Acharyas in the line? Because we are receiving from them. We are simply like a transparent via media. That should be always remembered. It's very important. Even Prabhupada said, I am simply a postal peon. Prabhupada said, I am delivering the message of Parampara. Prabhupada said, my only credit is I am repeating the message given by my Guru. I have no credit. Same mood was there with Sutta Goswami. So, nevertheless, Sutta Goswami claims that he had one very good qualification, which is very important for all of us to know. He says, all of you can repeat after me. Tatra kirtayato vipra viprarisher bhuri tejasah aham chadyagamam tatra nivishtastat anugrahat soham shravayishyami yatadhitam yathamatihi. He's saying, Tatra kirtayato vipra. My dear Shavanaka Rishis, I will tell you how I learned the Bhagavatam, I will tell you. There was a great assembly which was led by Shukadeva Goswami. And the main audience was Parikshit. Thousands of sages were sitting. Aham chadigamam tatra. I also went and sat there. I was also sitting there. In the same assembly, he says. But my only qualification was nivishtastat anugrahat, he is saying. I heard the lecture very attentively, rapt attention. That's very important. One mathematics teacher was teaching, writing on the board many equations. And she saw one boy in the class is looking somewhere else. He is not looking at the board. So the madam went behind and asked, hey, I am going on teaching, did it enter? Did it enter? Like that she asked. He said, yes madam, the lizard has entered the hole. He was telling. She said, I am not asking about the lizard, I am asking about whether knowledge entered. So, sometimes you are sitting in a class, physically present, mentally. Is that correct? No, but shouldn't do that. So he said, Nivishtastat anugrahat. I heard the lecture very Attentively. And that purport Prabhupada writes, who can attentively hear the japa of the holy name, or who can hear the class attentively? Anybody knows what he says? One who is pure in habits, one who is pure in mind can hear attentively, he says. Then he is asking question, who is pure in mind? He is asking. Then he is saying, one who is pure in habits. And what are the habits? He says, one who is pure in eating, sleeping, mating and defending. One who is pure. Which means you should eat only prasad. And the prasad also you should eat moderately. That's very important. If you overeat, what will happen? Then you will feel. Any of you after eating on festival day, you are feeling like lying down? Anybody has experience? That means what is the proof? Overeater. Like people, like lorry wala people, truck wala people, they go to motel. After eating, do they sit in driver's seat and go to sleep? What will happen if they sleep? There will be accident. So they drive the vehicle. Similarly, after we eat, we should get energy to do work. Correct, no? Yeah, after eating prasad, you should get energy. What is the definition of energy in science? Capacity to do work. Correct, no? So that means after eating prasad, one should be able to study and do activities. So eat only prasad and eat moderately. Secondly, sleeping. 6 hours of sleep, Prabhupada says, is enough for us. Prabhupada says, if somebody sleeps 12 hours, they'll become polar bear next life. Prabhupada says. Because 12 hours per day means yearly how many months? 6 months. And polar bear sleeps for how long? 6 months. Therefore, one becomes polar bear. Hence proved. Understood? So 12 hours one should not sleep, he said. So sleep only 6 hours. Moderate sleep. Sleep early and rise early. Sleep by 9, 9:30 and get up by 3, 3:30, 4. Then your whole day can go very brisk. So sleeping for Krishna. Can we sleep for Krishna or not? Possible. What is the meaning of sleeping for Krishna? I sleep so that I rejuvenate my body and senses to serve Krishna again next day. So eat only Krishna prasad, sleep moderately, and sleep early, rise early. Then mating means sex life. Sex life should be for procreation purpose, and one should not squander the sex energy wastefully, because if one allows the semen to flow downwards, then one will lose one's spiritual acumen. One cannot be sharp in understanding the Shastra, one cannot memorize the shlokas, one cannot do decision making, one cannot hold the information, vichara shakti, one cannot analyze, evaluate the Shastras, one cannot see the intangible things. Especially tada tada pashyati vastu sukshmam. Bhagavatam 11th canto says, if you want to see subtler and subtler truths like the soul, God, three gunas and karma, everything, kala acting in this world, one requires fine intelligence for that. For that one should preserve the sex energy. So, and not unnecessarily squander it. Nowadays, because of watching so many dirty movies and all, people are squandering this energy. If you allow it to flow down, Rig Veda says, Maranam bindu patanat, Jivanam bindu rakshanat, it says. If you allow the semen to flow down, your death comes fast. If you allow the semen to be preserved, then you live a long ayush, long life. And then you can also do study and everything well. So in this way, the mating should not be wastefully employed. And then finally the defending. Don't unnecessarily quarrel with other living beings. They will waste your time. So he says that defend yourself but don't offend anyone. So in this way, keep these 4 activities pure, then mind will become calm, cool, collected. For example, if I pinch my neighbor and I see here, will he keep quiet? He will also pinch me. Therefore he is saying, if you don't unnecessarily offend other living entities, then your mind won't have tension. How many of you have experienced, you quarrel with somebody and that fellow said, wait and watch what I will do. After coming home, you feel some fear. Anybody's experience? Correct? Yeah. So, why to quarrel and why to fear? So, don't quarrel also, don't fear also. You give up. If somebody is teasing you, you turn your face and go away. Then he won't have any reason to chase behind you. He will say that this fellow doesn't retaliate back, so chod do usko. He will leave you. So, in this way, eating, sleeping, mating, defending, if you do it purely, then mind becomes pure, then you can hear the class with rapt attention. So it's very important that we hear the Bhagavatam and we hear with rapt attention. How do you know you are hearing with rapt attention? Once when Parikshit was hearing the Bhagavatam, At that time, Shukadeva Goswami said, all the cowherd boys went home and narrated the pastime of Aghasurvad, 1 year later to their mothers, like that he said. Immediately Parikshit put a sudden break. He said, why 1 year later they told this pastime? Why not on the same day? Because our Shukadeva Goswami immediately went into Samadhi for a few minutes. Later he came out and said, in that 1 year happened Brahma Vimohan. So, because Parikshit asked this one question, therefore Brahma Vimohan Lila was spoken. Otherwise we will never come to know that. Because he was very attentive. So, if you are attentive, Guru is also pleased, disciple also will benefit. So, we have to hear from seniors, we have to hear with rapt attention, and we should be humble, we should not be proud. The knowledge we possess is not our knowledge, it is parampara knowledge. We are simply like postal peons, we are just receiving and giving. One should not think, I am a great devotee, I have so much knowledge. That kind of pride will make us opaque, we can't be transparent. People cannot see Krishna through us. So, these are some background things. Now I'll show you some things here. What is preaching? Some of the definitions from Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Prabhupada, both I have given. He says, if you want to preach, what is the meaning of preaching? We should help a soul go back home, back to Godhead. That is actually preaching. And it is not that you preach in such a way that you are so harsh in preaching. One boy came and told me, Prabhu, one atheistic fellow came to our class. I gave such a heavy reply. He ran away, he will never come back. I said, this is like, operation successful, patient dead. Isn't it? Is it good preaching? No. Our preaching is not to cut the nose of people. Our preaching is to make them devotees. Lord Nityananda Prabhu, how he is preaching? You will see, we say, Trinadapi Shuni Chena. I will give you 2 examples for this. One is Nityananda Prabhu, how is Trinadapi Shuni Chena? He is keeping a trin in the mouth, isn't it? And then where is the kartal? If I sing in between, it's all right? Where is the mridanga? Somebody is ready with mridanga? Adhama patita jiver dware dware giya. Bole Adhama patita jiver dware. Hare Rama Maha Mantra Deno Bilaiya. Yare deke tare ko hai dante trina dhori. Amare kiriya loho baja gaura hari. Yatavali Nityananda bhume gadi jaya. Yatavali Nityananda Sonara parvata deno dhulate lotai. Hero avatare arati na janmilo. Lochan bole sei papi yelo aragelo. Akrodha Paramananda Nityanandara. Abhimana Shunya Nitai Nagare Bedai. What is the meaning of this song? He is saying Lord Nitai is the first preacher of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whom he sent out. He was keeping a grass in between the mouth, which is a sign of humility. He was folding the palm and begging, please chant Krishna's names, please worship Krishna, please read Bhagavad Gita. Which means we have to plead the people, persuade the people, and not yell at the people. He was pleading. Like Trinada Pishunichana. And one Madhai, you all know Madhai, he took one pot and hit on his head. So let not Nityananda take another pot and hit him back? Did he do that? No. He was bleeding and he told Madhai, Madhai, I am not angry with you that you hit me and my head is bleeding. I am only very much in anxiety that you are not chanting the holy name. And then hearing that, Jagai's heart melted. He said, this is a sadhu. So he is so humble, so pure-hearted. But I don't hit him for the second time, he told him. So Nityananda Prabhu said, Marakhe prem diye. How many of you heard that song? Doyal Nitai Chaitanya bole, Naraya Marman, Doyal Nitai Chaitanya bole. Nataraya Marman, Nataraya Marman, Nataraya Marman. दोयाल तो नहीं है, दोया तो नहीं, मार के ये प्रेम दिए, दोयाल तो नहीं है, मार के. See, he's saying how merciful Nitai is. That is, Marke means he accepted the pot. He accepted the breaking of the pot on his head. And for the person who hit him, he gave him prem. Who? Who is the person who hit him? Madai. Same person who hit him on the head, he gave him Krishna prem. How amazing it is. Like you take a kuladi. Kuladi means axe. You hit a sandalwood tree. It will make the tip of the axe fragrant. The same tip which hit the sandalwood tree. Like that the Padma Purana says. Sujano nayati vainam parahita buddhir vinasha kalepi chedepi chandanattaru mukham surabayati kutarasya. It says, chedepi chandanattaru. If you take a chandanattaru and hit with axe, the tip of the axe will be rendered fragrant with the chandan. That's the nature of pure devotees. Prahlad Maharaj, his father, hit him in so many ways, but he prayed for the deliverance of father. Similarly, you find Nityananda Prabhu was hit by Madai and he gave him love of God. So this is the preacher. He's so tolerant preacher. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prabhupada, they all want us to be humble preachers and tolerant preachers. How many of you become angry if someone whom you are preaching to is not becoming a devotee? How many of you feel angry sometimes? Yeah, we should. Therefore, he says, don't become angry. Be humble. Because if you are angry, they will run away. If you ask somebody, one preacher was asking, Hare, I fed you prasad 2 years, still you are not starting chanting. So don't become angry. We have to be very patient. Like Nityananda Prabhu was very humble and tolerant. So in this way, the preaching is to be learned from such compassionate and exalted preachers. Like therefore, he is saying we have to send a soul back home, back to that. That is the goal. We should not just impose forcibly. And see the third point. Preaching is a part of Lord's mission to reclaim the fallen conditioned souls. Lord has one mission in this world. Krishna is coming in this world and saying that, oh, my children are all suffering in this world. I want to take them back to my abode. But all are wandering in different directions. If somebody can help me get them back to Godhead, I'll be grateful. Krishna feels like that. Krishna also comes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, different incarnations come. So, the Lord wants to show colorful pastimes in this world by seeing which, like how many of you have seen America, Statue of Liberty and all those things, nicely colorfully printed in a brochure. After somebody goes through that, they say, I want to go to America, correct? No? You develop some attraction. Similarly, when I went to America, they have a brochure about India also. They have put Badrinath, Kedarnath, Haridwar, Rishikesh. They say, go to India. So those guys are attracted to come to spiritual spots in India. They also come. Generally, from one country to go to another country, the tourist people, what they do, they make a brochure. Similarly, Lord also makes a brochure to attract us to spiritual world, which are called Puranas. Lord performs pastimes, and then in those pastimes, they are all recorded by Vedavyas. So when you hear those pastimes, you think, oh, Lord is so beautiful, so nice. I also want to go and join his Nitya Leela. You develop some kind of fondness. Therefore, the Lord comes in this world. And not only Lord wants to get all of us back. If you help him in getting the jivas back to Godhead, Lord is very grateful to you. Lord says that. Nacha tasman manushyeshu kaschin me priyakrit tamaha priyakrit priyakrit tara priyakrit tama. Superlative. The Lord is saying that if anyone can help me to get some of the souls back to Godhead, I am very grateful to them. And And if any of you sitting here, you make one pure devotee in your life and that fellow is going back to Godhead, your ticket back to Godhead is guaranteed. Huh? So, when Dhruva Maharaj was about to go back to Godhead, the Vaikuntha airplane came, Nanda, Sunanda, they all came. He was hesitant to climb in. So they were asking, Dhruva, come. Now we are going to take you to Vaikuntha. What is the hesitation? He said, you see, my mother was the one who guided me to Lord Vishnu. Huh? Can she also get a lift in the same plane? Huh? Can I also bring her? They said, what are you talking, Dhruva? Your mother is in one more plane ahead of you. Huh? She is going ahead and you are going to follow her now. Huh? So he was amazed. How? Because she was his Vartma Pradarshak Guru, who guided him to go to Vishnu. So therefore, if you preach, somebody in your preaching will become a great devotee. And thereby your ticket will also be guaranteed. Huh? Therefore, everybody should preach and assist Lord's mission. You see, our preaching is not just giving lectures. It is to awaken the dormant Krishna consciousness in the heart of people. What is this word dormant? Sometimes in village, they keep this red hot coal in the morning. They don't put water and extinguish it. They keep it as it is. But the ladies, they put some ashes over it. And then because they can use it again in the afternoon. Huh? Afternoon, they will go to the kitchen and like that they blow the ashes. And immediately again it will be red hot. If you don't know that it is red hot, you put your hand, you will burn your hand. Huh? Just as the red hot coal is covered by ashes, like that our Krishna consciousness is covered by anarthas. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunoy Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Koroyo Budoy. You can repeat that. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunoy Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Koroyo Budoy. So it says here, every one of us sitting here, you are a pure devotee. You have love for Krishna hidden in your heart. Huh? But right now, that is covered over by your anartha, so you can't see it. Huh? But as you chant Hare Krishna, gradually the ashes are going away. Huh? And then Krishna consciousness is blossoming. How many of you have seen the sun sometimes behind the cloud? Dark cloud, you don't see the sun. Later you see a silvery cloud. Then that cloud is also gone, you see the full sun you get to see. Correct, no? Like that, your Krishna Prema is going to come out as you chant Japam, Kirtan, morning program, everything. Gradually, the love of Krishna is manifest. That's what is dormant. So, our preaching means we should make people develop love for Krishna. Without that, our preaching is simply eyewash. Sometimes people think preaching means you just go to a place and you give a lecture, and then after that, take prasad, do some kirtan, and take prasad. That's all over. Huh? After 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, how many rounds are your people chanting? You should check it. One man called me for a program. He said, Radheshyamji, first time I am taking a brahmachari to my program. Last 2 years I am doing a program and I want to tell you some word of caution, he said. I said, what is it? So while going in the car, I was talking. This fellow is doing 2 years Ramayana, from Moola Ramayana he is reading. The shloka and the translation. And all the fellows are senior citizens, minimum 75 years old. Youngest fellow is 75 years in the group. Others are till 85, 90 years and that. And I asked this fellow, Acha, 2 years you're doing only Ramayana. You didn't teach Bhagavad Gita as it is. You didn't teach Bhagavad. No, Prabhu. First I want to prepare them so that slowly they can come to Bhagavad Gita. Then I said, so in the class, can we chant Hare Krishna? He said, Prabhuji, mantra is not yet introduced. When are you going to introduce? Slowly we will introduce. I said, slowly they will die before that. They're old fellows. Isn't it? Already very old fellows. See, we should never hesitate to give Maha Mantra to anybody. Prabhupada, when he went to America, he didn't say God, God. What he said? Krishna. He said, Krishna is all attractive. Similarly, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra he gave in the park. Very, very new people also took Maha Mantra. So you should not hide. Therefore, preaching means, don't do indirect bridge preaching for a long time. Bridge preaching is all right, only 1 or 2 lectures, that's all. After that, roll up your sleeves and get to the truth. Don't waste time. Yeah. If you are going to do bridge preaching, see, what is the meaning of bridge preaching? You are here, all Vaishnavas are here. Here there are new people. So you give them a bridge where you do something and they are also eager to come. And both of you come here. And then you should take them here to this side. Make them devotees, correct? No? Like for example, I do science and spirituality. For example, many students have scientific questions. So I prepared one course called Discover Yourself. No? Many years ago, 95. I made PPT and all that. So it's like science mixed with spirituality. At the end of the course, those boys will agree to chant Hare Krishna. And they will also come, they will also wear tilak, Hare Krishna. That's the goal of bridge preaching. Not that, both the parties are going to bridge and they're having a nice time in the bridge forever. Or not that you go to their side. Both should not happen. They should come to our side. So therefore, the goal of preaching is to introduce people to Krishna and chanting of the holy name. And they should develop fondness for Krishna. So they should search for Krishna. How should we do preaching? Preaching is not done by the conditioned soul, he says, you see. When we are humble instruments, then Krishna will enter the heart and he will purify the conditioned souls. Actually, we cannot purify anybody. We cannot purify even ourselves also. We only surrender to Krishna. He says, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo. So he purifies us when we surrender to him. We have to beg. See, Chakravarti Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a very nice analogy. He says, once a child passed a stool in urine, and the child was rolling on that, and it was nasty smelling. Quack, 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 quack. He was making sounds. So mother came, mother said, oh, unclean child, shame, shame, puppy shame. She said, go to the bathroom, take a bath, clean off this place, and only then I will pick you up. Is it possible for the child to do? Like the Krishna is saying, all of you repeat this verse. Yesham tvantakatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandvamoha nirmukta bhajante mam dridavvrataha. Krishna is telling, Yesham tu antagatam papam, put a full stop to all your sinful activities. Jananam punyakarmanam, do shravanam kirtanam punyakarma. Then only you will become strong in bhakti. That means put a full stop to sinful activities means mother telling a child, go and clean your stool, urine and come. Only then you can be my strong, I can pick you up. So child cannot do. Therefore Krishna says at the end of the Gita, Sarvadharan parityajya mamekam sharanam braja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami mashuchaha. And then Lord says, okay, and the child is crying, Mama, I cannot clean myself, I can't do it myself. I don't know how to do it. Then the mother says, okay, you take shelter of me, and I will take you to bathroom and clean you up. That is the 18.66. Then Lord says, okay, you do chanting japa and beg me for help, then I will clean you up. Aham tvam sarva, I will clean your stool and urine, don't worry. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami, Lord says. So which is better? Whether we try to clean up ourselves is better or to depend on the Lord and beg Him for help. So that is the 18.66 verse. Like the Chakravarti Thakur says. So we should learn the art of depending on the Lord by crying and praying through the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. There is one song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says, Hare Krishna Naam Hari Bole Mano Prana Kandhe Naam. Hare Krishna Naam Hari Bole Mano Prana Kandhe Naam. Hare Krishna Naam Hari Bole Mano Prana Kandena. Hare Krishna Naam Hari Bole Mano Prana Kandena. He's saying, oh my dear mind, why are you not crying out the holy name and begging the Lord to help you? What are you thinking? Do you think only when you are dead and your body will be put on a stretcher and 4 people will lift it up and say, Ram Nam Satya Hai? And then they will take you to the graveyard and somebody will put fire to your tongue. That time will you chant the holy name? You will be dead, you won't be able to chant. Now that you are alive, your tongue is moving. It's moving now. Chant the holy name. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Like that is saying. So, in this way, we can beg the help of the Lord. Actually, when we chant very nicely in the early morning hours, calling out the Lord is pleased. When He cleanses your mind, He will give clarity to your mind, clarity to your thought, and oneness in your intelligence. And then the whole day will go very beautifully, with full of realizations, full of understandings, correct perception, correct direction will be obtained when we chant the holy name nicely. So it's by Krishna's grace we can achieve that. So preaching is not only by lectures. You can also sing, uh, like George Harrison sang and made devotees, and Kuruma Prabhu cooked and made devotees. Sometimes we all think preaching means what? Sitting here and giving lecture, correct? No? This is not the only way you can preach. There are many people who can preach by their good behavior also. Good behavior by cooking prasadam and distributing prasad, or by distributing books. One time, one Mataji, Divya Shakti Mataji from Vrindavan, she was distributing books. So one college boy came. She told him, "This is a very good book." He saw the book. "This is also a good book," she said. And then she added book one. It became like this. There's many books up to the chin. The boy could not even hold it. Then she asked her, "Okay, now I have given you all my books. Can you pay a donation now?" The boy said, "How can I pay? Both my hands are holding the books." He said, "You can take my purse from my pocket." So she took the purse, took out all the money, and then took it and to put it back to him, and then gave the temple card and went. And that boy went on to become his own Chandramani Swami Maharaj ki. He's a Chandramani Swami Maharaj. See, she gave books and made him a devotee. So you don't have to necessarily sit in Vyasasana and give a lecture to be a preacher. You can be a preacher by doing book distribution also, isn't it? In the same manner, there are also devotees who make very attractive prasad. Some people are specialists in certain type of items, in cooking certain items. If they make that, there was one Mataji who used to make muffin. Muffin, you know that? Yeah. And very sweet and very tasty. So because she made it very nicely, the number of students started coming more for the classes. Earlier only 4 or 5 boys were coming, then became 30, 40. Number started increasing. So many of them actually came for muffins, but then along with that they chanted Hare Krishna and became devotees. That means you can make devotees through cooking prasad also, cooking nice prasad. Similarly, here you see Radha Giridhari, my Lord, what amazing decoration and dressing. So they are appearing like as if they are going to walk out of the altar to all of us. As if their face is filled of so much expressions, as if they are talking to you. Isn't it so sweet? So you can see when the deities are decorated very nicely and worshipped very nicely, it attracts thousands of people. You can see that. So a pujari can dress that deity so sweetly, beautifully, that if you think today is a festival day, let me decorate the Lord so beautifully that he will attract millions of people. So we can also preach by deity dressing also. Deity jewelry making, deity dressing. It's not that only. There was one old lady in Radha Damodar temple. She was 85 or 90. She used to bring water pot on her shoulder. Her whole body would be trembling. She brought for Abhishek of the deity. So Prabhupada would watch her early morning, 5 o'clock. She would be coming to keep the water outside the pujari's, the sanctum sanctorum. Pujari will be inside busy with the deities, but she will keep the water and go away. Nobody watched her. Prabhupada said she will definitely go back to Godhead. Because she is an old woman, her body is very frail, skinny, bony, but she is bringing water even in that age, trembling with a trembling body. So by her seva bhav, she is teaching all of us how a devotee should be eager to render service. I'll tell you one true story. There was one Vibhu Chaitanya Prabhu in Prabhupada's time. This Prabhu was in Vrindavan, and Prabhupada himself said, this Vibhu Chaitanya can do the service of 10 people, he said. In the pujari room, he would dress the deity, he would decorate the ornaments, he would perform arati, he would offer bhoga also, he will go and cook the sweets also. So much he would do. Many pujaris ran out of service because of him. They could not get. He was very, very dynamic, as if he had 10 hands. So he went on for years together like that. People would see him and say, my Lord, what an enthusiasm. But when he became very, very old, he could not render service. His legs became weak, hands became weak. So he started weeping, that how much service I was doing before, now I have become 80 plus and I can't do service. Then everybody told him, go and relax in the room. He said, I cannot go and relax. So he sat by the side of the temple hall and started giving Charanamrita to people. Every day he would be giving Charanamrita till the last breath he took. His Holiness Jayadurga Swami Maharaj was adoring him very much. He said, by his trembling hands and giving Charanamrita, he did more preaching than sitting in Vyasasana and giving lecture. So we should know that preaching is not only by our knowledge, but also by our behavior, how we behave. So sadachar is also very important in preaching. Good behavior. Without good sadachar, nobody will want to learn. Yeah. So, what is the proof that your preaching is taking effect? People should become free from three things. You will recite this nice famous verse. Yasyam vaishruyamanayam Krishne paramapurushe bhaktirutpadyate pumsam shoka moha bhaya apaha. Shoka means lamentation of the past, happenings, and then moha means illusion, and bhaya means fear of the future. All this will go away if people are hearing very nice Krishna Katha. This is the result of Krishna Katha. So when we are preaching, our people should not be static, they should be ecstatic by hearing the Krishna Katha. Why should we preach? Because, our Krishna has ordered us, Lord Chaitanya has ordered us, and also it will benefit the humans. Prabhupada has ordered us, everybody. You all know that famous verse, Jare deko tare kaho Krishna upadesh, Amara agnya guru haya taraye ye desh. Bharata bhumita hoile manusha janmayar, Janma sartaka kauri karpara upakar. You know this? So how many of you are born in Bharat? So this order is like for you only. He's saying, Bharata bhumita hoile manusha janmayar, Janma sartaka kauri karpara upakar. He's saying. So if you are born in Bharat Desh, he's saying it's your duty to preach this message. Therefore we should preach. It's whose order? Chaitanya's order. And then he's saying, Jare deko tare ko. To whom should I preach, you may ask? Whatever you learned. One good habit is every day catch 3 people and tell them. Anybody. By repeating what you heard, you will always remember. That's the best way to remember. Otherwise, you will hear like this and it will go like this. If you want to retain in your head, whatever you heard, you repeat it to 3 people. Like you hear a Bhagavatam class, make some short notes and then catch some 3 new people and tell them. And people will be grateful also. I was just walking, he caught me and told me something nice about God. Like I do japa talks every morning, and by doing the japa talks, it gives me a chance to think about the philosophy also. I've been doing since 2004. I used to do audio before, now I'm doing video also now. So repeatedly every morning, the early morning hours, whatever I have read, heard, it arises in the mind, you contemplate, and then japa also it helps. And repeating what we have heard, it reinforces it in our mind. So Krishna empowers a preacher. So we need an order of Guru to preach. I will make one last point and then we will conclude. There was one Dasharathi, one very famous Brahmana, very learned Pandit also. Very learned Pandit. He was a relative of Shripad Ramanujacharya, who later on became Ramanujacharya's disciple. But as soon as he became disciple, Ramanuja saw that he is very scholarly, and because of that, there is a possibility that he may become proud. So one day, one of his Guru Mahapurna's family member, one lady came and said that I don't have any servant to cook in the kitchen. So Ramanuja said, take this Dasharathi with you. Dasharathi was sent there to that village and he was cooking daily. He was cooking, keeping water, washing, cleaning and all that. Went for months together. One day in that village, one very great orator, speaker had come. He was sitting under a tree and speaking, and 1,000 people are sitting and hearing. But that fellow was a kind of Vaishnava, but he was committing one small mistake in his speech, which was like a tinge of Mayavad. So when Dasharathi, after cooking in the kitchen, he came and stood also behind to hear, because he had naturally literary taste. He was standing and hearing that. And when he heard this point, he understood there is a mistake. So then he raised the hand and raised a doubt and said, "Sir, you made this point. I want to make a slight suggestion that this point, instead of this, it could be like this, then it would be proper." But the preacher became a little angry. He said, "Who are you to correct me? You are working in the kitchen. Show your talent in the kitchen, not here. What do you know about the Shastra? If you know the Shastra, then explain this verse, explain that verse," he asked. Then Dasarathi, left, right, center, he explained like anything. So beautifully explained. All the audience are clapping hands. And the audience recognized this is none other than Dasharathi. Everybody lifted him on the shoulder. And they all took him to Ramanujan and said, "Oh, Yatiraj, how is it that your great Pandita disciple, you have put him in the kitchen to do work? We want him as a preacher." Then later on, Ramanujan made him a preacher after that. But he had told him to do menial service. Why? So that he will be humble. That's the reason. Even Jiva Goswami was sent by Lord Nityananda to Varanasi to study Sanskrit. After that, when he came to Vrindavan, the first service he got from Rupa Goswami was to collect the leaves where he can write, where he can write. He was cooking, cleaning, washing, making the palm leaves for Rupa Goswami to write. Although he was a great scholar, he was doing all menial services. That's the whole idea, that when Guru is pleased with us and orders us to speak, then only we should speak. Till then, we should do menial services. That's the point. So only see the headings. Now I am not going to speak about it. See the headings? Preaching means to change heart, not to defeat intellectually. Present the truth in a mood of sharing the good fortune, like Prahalad Maharaj did. See, our speech should have three qualities. All of you repeat: compassionate, authoritative, and pleasing. So we should present compassionately. Like Prahalad told his friends, "My dear friends, see how kind Lord Vishnu is. Vishnu is our master. Vishnu is our well-wisher. And souls also love him very much. So let us become devotees of Vishnu." Very compassionately preached. And they all loved Prahalad very much. So if people love the preacher, they will be happy to take inputs from him. If the preacher is not compassionate, there was one preacher, he went to one village where people were smoking, drinking and all. He made one PPT of the 28 hills. He said, "Tambaku khaoge, narak mein jaoge." He would preach like that. He showed all the 28 hills and all the fellows are trembling. And next class they didn't come only. So that is not a compassionate preacher, correct? No? Compassionate preacher means we should think how to inspire people to come to Krishna, not drive them away. And A means authoritative. You should speak based on scriptures. We should not bluff anything, because everything should be based authentically supported. Prabhupada was telling, my followers should be like lawyers. Lawyers are quoting Indian Penal Code. My devotee should quote Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada said. So we all should know. Anybody asks, how do you say we all are part and parcel of Krishna? Immediately quote 15.7. What verse? Mamaivaamsho jivaloke jivabhuta sanatana. Some people will say, you are always saying we are all Krishna's children. What is the proof? 14.4. What is the verse? Sarvayonishu kaunteya murtaya stambhavantiyaha tasam brahmahatyonir aham bija pradaha pita. Somebody may say, I think nature is moving on its own. Why do you say God is, controlling the nature? Maya adhyakshena prakriti 9.10. Correct, no? Suyate sacharacharam. Somebody may say, hey, I don't see God anywhere. How do you say this world is created by God, owned by God? 7.4. Bhumirapo vanalovayu kammano direvacha ahankari yam me, he says. Me means mine, Jesus says. This world was created by me and belongs to me, he says. Somebody may say, okay, Krishna created this world. What about spiritual world? Apareyam itastvanyam prakritim viddhi me param jiva bhuta mahabaho edam daryate jagat. There also me, he says. So in this way, anything people ask you, you should be able to bring shloka immediately, authoritatively. That's author. Then whether America or India, you quote shloka, people will be clean bold. And people say, my Lord, this for anything you catch, he will quote shloka immediately. So Prabhupada wanted us to memorize shloka. As appropriate shloka, we should quote at appropriate place. So that is second thing. Compassionate, authoritative. Third one is pleasing. Pleasing means we should say the complex philosophy in a very simple manner. Correct, no? Like for example, we had 7 stages of life. The child, when he is newly born, he spills. What he spills? Stool and urine. When the child grows little bit and go to school, he drills. What is a drill? 2, 1, sa, 2, 2, 2, sa, 4. That's a drilling. Huh? And when the child goes from school to teenage, he has thrills. What is it? Thrills? Romantic activities. Thrills. And then when he gets married, then he comes to ground level after that. Huh? Yeah. Then at that time, thrills are gone, then he has bills. Is it not true? Then bill after bill after bill he has to pay like that. And because of paying so much bill and too much hard work, he gets ills. Then he goes to doctor who gives him pills. And then he gets very old and writes wills. And that life is over now. So these are called 7 stages of life. So although all of you laughed now, you also know that there is suffering in all these things, correct now? So we have to package suffering in a sugar-coated pill and give the people. They will enjoy also and they will know we are suffering also. One time I asked in a class, okay, let me see how many of you know, what is the name of the doctor who treats the tooth? Dentist, very good. Who is the doctor who treats the skin? Dermatologist. Who is the doctor who treats the heart? Who is the doctor who treats the brain? Neurologist, yeah. Who is the doctor, who treats eye, nose, throat? Eyes, nose, throat? ENT specialist. And who is the doctor who treats the bones? Orthopedist. So everybody was saying, cut, they were saying. And then I told, that means every part of the body can give you trouble. Therefore, there is a doctor for every part, correct or not? Therefore, this world is Dukkhalaya. Hence proved, that's all. So, why I was telling you this, we have to tell the harsh truths in a pleasing way. So, compassion, all of you repeat this, compassionate, authoritative, pleasing. So that's the way we can present the truth, okay? Okay, this I already told you. Focus on reading Prabhupada's books thoroughly, without jumping. Not only bookish knowledge, realization, that's a big topic. I won't speak on that. No. You have to sympathetically present the philosophy to people. This is also another big topic. Speaking according to Deshkal Patra, that's a very big topic. Balance up is also another big topic. So it's a very big workshop, but I just took part of it. Thank you for your attention and enthusiasm. So I can take 5 minutes question. It's getting late for all of you. I don't want to delay you further. I can take 5 minutes, one or two questions. Anybody want to ask? If you raise the hand, mic will come. Do you have mic available? Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thanks you, Prabhu, for coming again to our temples. And yes, you are like a big fish in a small well in Bangalore. So you give a lot of examples like the mother child with quote with the Sarva Dharman Parityaja Shloka. So we see your life is so scheduled. You very busy scheduled. We are preaching the way you, and in the starting you give the example we have to take and give.
Yeah, correct.
So we see the regular life. You are very busy. So how you are taking? That
Yeah.
is our. If it is,
Actually, what I do, I don't go by flight. I prefer trains. Like I go from Pune to Calcutta by 36 hours Azad in the express. So I study Prabhupada purports 20 hours at a stretch sometimes. When I go to the berth, in the morning after my japa, 8 o'clock I will sit. Till night I can study, just study. Study, underline, make notes, my own points and everything. I also hear many lectures of my spiritual master and many other seniors also. Our main association comes from Shravanam. Shravanam and study and absorption, contemplating on what we have read. Sometimes people give too much importance to Vapu association. In Vapu association may also be inspiring, but the essence of association is Vani association. So we have to take out time to study, otherwise we won't be able to speak. We can't remember also. We'll forget also. We have to. Actually, many people tell me, Prabhuji, why do you take such a long distance train? And I will arrange a flight for you. They will tell me, no, I don't want flight. Because flight means you sit here, by the time you open the book, again you have to land down. All of you know, you put your belt on, now we are going to land down, they will say. And also standing in that security check, so much time goes off. But in the train, you get your personal time. I go to the top. Sometimes I put a towel also here so that I get a private room in the top, in the berth. So nobody can. In fact, even if I find a Tamil family sitting below, I will never talk to them in Tamil. Because once they know I am Tamil, they will not leave me. Purposely, I speak to them in Hindi only. So I'll behave like Jadabharata. You know? So then I get my personal time. Also, I have to reply my mails. On an average, every day I reply 50, 60 mails, I reply daily. So, these are all done during my travels, when I travel from place to place. And then sometimes at a stretch, like I am in Bangalore now, in a day there are 4 or 5 programs in a day. Then I have to go on giving. Then after this, then I will take out some time. I also went to Govardhanako village for 2 years to study full Bhagavatam and CC. In those days, 3 hours we would study in the morning, and afternoon we come back to our room and 3 hours revising what we studied in the morning. The next day morning test for the previous chapter. So one chapter of Bhagavatam we finish in the morning, the same chapter revise in the afternoon, underline Prabhupada purports, deeply study, memorize shlokas and everything. Next day morning give a test, then study the second chapter. So I was there for 2 full years. At the time I was only preaching in the weekends. So weekdays I studied well at that time. I got time. So yes, we definitely need our own personal absorbing time. Even if we study less also, that should be very absorbing in the mind. Absorbing is like a sponge absorbing the water. It's very important. Otherwise, hearing with 1 ear, living with another ear, not retaining anything, that will not sink in our heart. But as you asked, it's a really challenge for many of us preachers to take in. While taking in and giving out, we may be sometimes dragged to giving out more. That possibility is always there. Yeah. We have to plan in advance when I will hear. That is why I purposely book many train journeys from one place to another. Train, because in temple you go, a lot of management comes. In train, in phone also they can't catch me. I will say range is not coming. You get some time for yourself. Still, sometimes I have a WhatsApp in my computer. Sometimes these fellows will put a WhatsApp message and then they will keep following me up and then I'll reply back. Somebody is asking. Actually, in our society like ISKCON, we have a lot of management and counseling and problem solving. That swallows considerable time. Plus, we have to do our morning sadhana is also a very lengthy one. So therefore, we have to be very alert about utilization of time. Ayusha kshana ekopi nalabhya swarna kotipi. Chanakya says, one moment is like one gold coin. We have to very carefully spend. If we don't carefully spend, we will lose our time. Your question is good. Definitely, we all have to be very good in prioritization, time management. Some of the tips I will tell you very easily how you can best manage time. There are 4 columns. One is called do, decide, delegate, delete. There are 4 Ds. So urgent things, you have to do it. And if you are very good planner ahead of time, then you can delegate many things to many people. Especially if you're a senior devotee, you can delegate many things to many people. And then delete those time-wasting items. So, and also delegating and deleting. Deleting means useless phone calls, useless things. We have to find out how am I wasting my time. We have to delete those times. And then essence of time management is quadrant 2, we call it, which is, not urgent but important. There are many activities. For example, planning, preparing, organizing well ahead of time, and also delegating to people in advance. Then a lot of our time can be saved. And I do a lot of almost 18 leadership training programs I do every month. So these leadership training programs, I am with leaders, studying the Bhagavatam purports with them and discussing and churning and going deep. So those learnings are also helping me to remember and relish also. Because I am not just giving some superficial leadership seminars. All my leadership training programs are based on Bhagavatam only. Bhagavatam and CC only. Like we have one course called the SMALT, we call it MALT, Managers and Leaders Training Program. 40 topics, but all the leadership topics, the moment I start the topic, it will be in Bhagavatam only. We go into the Bhagavatam verse. Bhagavatam's applicability in day-to-day life. We talk like that. So that way, Fortunately, although I am president of a temple, more than management, I am more with scriptures. Studying, teaching, sharing, remembering, recollecting. This type of service is more for me. So that helps me also to absorb myself. It's not that only the study time I study, other times I don't study. I have to be constantly taking, giving out like that. All right? Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki 2 minutes kirtan, I can do 2 minutes kirtan. Concluding kirtan I will do.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Kaliyuga Pavana Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki, Shri Shri Radha Giridhari ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Lakshmi Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki, Bhuvala Mangala Harinama Sankirtan ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. I think the topic that was informed to you was different, and suddenly, in the last moment, you got some different requests, and you prepared and delivered such a wonderful class. It was so relatable for all of us. It was like coming from your heart and reaching directly to our heart. Thank you, Prabhuji. That's why we love you all for this kind of instructions and guidance for us. So we'll pray that actually Prabhuji is very busy in a whole day today, and still Prabhuji gave this class, late night class, and that too Prabhuji was so energetic, enthusiastic for delivering. So let us thank and let us pray for Prabhuji so that he can continue giving this guidance, these services to whole ISKCON, so whole youth and whole congregation. Let us pray for Prabhuji by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Prabhuji will be there tomorrow morning for Mangalarti and chanting. Devotees can come tomorrow and join us. Tomorrow's Mahamangalarti or Shri Gandhar ka Girdhari.